This is KI0AR. Does anyone need to use the repeater systems before I begin this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net? Please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to reset themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or priority traffic. If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Jack, if you are still out there monitoring, Moy, N5ZIQ reports over on NetLogger that the Echolink node seems to be down. W0SKY-L seems to be down. I'm not sure whether that is correct or not, but you may want to check that out. This is KI0AR. Continuing, this net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 0100 Zulu. Wednesdays to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. Counts as part of their outreach to the general public, which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins several ways. I take them via NetLogger. So if you have NetLogger, I'll take them in the AIM window. I am also on YouTube. So I will get people checked in via YouTube as well, especially if you have a call sign. And you can participate over there as well and post questions in there. I'll try to keep an eye on that and read them as they come up. Let's see. I also take them via email. If you are out there and just listening in one way or another and can't check in, either audio or NetLogger or YouTube, you can send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com. Just let me know you're out there listening. First name, location, and call sign if you got one. Always appreciate it. That way I can officially get you logged in. First name's okay, location's okay, and call sign is not necessary. So there you go. Okay, W0SKY-L is working in Nevada, so there you go. Thanks for that, Ken. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I also take them over the air, of course. Right now, I'm going to acknowledge the first 8 check-ins tonight. Let's see, we got Ken, NB7SS, thanks for checking in tonight. Roy, KI7PKL, thanks for checking in tonight. Jack, KE0VH, thanks for checking in tonight. Moy, N5ZIQ, thanks for checking in tonight. Cole, KF0URC, thanks for checking in tonight. David, WE8M, thanks for checking in tonight. John, W2JLS, thanks for checking in tonight. And Rip, K3XO, thanks for checking in tonight. I'm going to go back to Cole in Missouri, KF0URC. Good evening to you, Cole. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net, and welcome. I like to touch base with my first-time check-ins and find out a little background on you. If you're just starting out in astronomy, or you've been doing it for decades, or somewhere in between. I always like to find out a little bit more about the new check-ins and what kind of experience we have. We have all levels of experience on here, from beginners to those of us who have been doing it for decades, one way or another. We've got various interests as well, so hopefully you can stick around. I started this almost 30 years ago. Got some announcements coming up, some local astronomical news, some bulletins, a rocket report if you're interested in various launches around the world, and then I like to go down the list and talk with everybody, especially if they're out looking at the skies, for observational reports. In fact, I have an observational report this evening myself, so I'll be sharing that a little bit later. Right now, Cole, I want to officially welcome you and find out what's your background interest in astronomy. Go ahead, please. KF0URC, go ahead. Okay, no worries there. Hopefully we'll generate some questions a little bit later on, so there you go. Robert, we got you checked in. W7CTY, thanks for checking in tonight. We got you listening. No worries there. Mike, we got you on the list as well. KO5AOK, thanks for checking in tonight. Let's see. We got you over there on YouTube as well, so thanks for that. Anyone else wishing to, let's see, if you're anyone else listening on YouTube, first name, a location, call sign if you got one, definitely handy for keeping track of who's who, especially when we go down the list a little bit later on. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Bravo Yankee uniform. K9 BYU. Over. Go 5-0, Alpha Sierra Dave.
All right, we got you on the list. Russell, K9BYU, thanks for checking in tonight. And Dave, AF0AS, thanks for checking in tonight. There was a very low audible station in there. I did not catch a call sign on that. So if I haven't repeated your call sign, I don't have you checked in. So anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. All right, I will look for check-ins a little bit later on. But just so you know, one reason I like those phonetics in there twice, several reasons. One, I can copy them much better, and my ears can hear them much better as well. There is a bit of a lag at the front and back of transmissions. There's like a 2-second delay in there, so if you're quick on the trigger, like I sometimes am, I might get clipped on the beginning or the end. So that helps me get all of those letters in there, and I do apologize if my transmissions are clipped either way. So just let me know. I'll try to do better. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Announcements. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the website at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the web page is also a spot where you may submit your email address and get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. If you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the web page and the newsletter. I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies, a youth group that meets out at Strasburg, Colorado on Friday evenings from 6 until 8 p.m. Always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high-power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full-scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. Or they're welcome to visit their website at www.iaas.org or visit them on Facebook under the same name, the International Association for Astronomical Studies. Also a reminder that the Colorado Astronomy Net also has a Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, be sure to hop on there and like us both. Also, the IAAS has a club call sign, which is K0AAS. If you hear observatory station in that call sign, be sure to go out there and say, hey, even though we are not meeting on this Halloween night, I think they all want to go trick-or-treating. So no meeting this Friday for the IAAS, but if you do hear that call sign on the air, be sure to hop on there and say hey, and if the students are around, they'd love to talk about what they're doing out there. On Mondays and Wednesday nights, Jack, KE0VH, hosts on his YouTube website, Captain Jack Flight Sim, simulator flights in various aircraft, and virtual flights around the world. If you're interested in flight simming and amateur radio and whatever, he gets into all kinds of topics while we're out there flying. Visit him Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. He may not be on there tomorrow. He was on there yesterday. We flew from Bora Bora to Tahiti. So interesting flight there. So he's flowing around the Himalayas, flowing around here locally, around the Colorado Rockies as well. So hop on there and be sure to say, hey, 6:30 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. He has previous flights on his YouTube channel. CAPNJACKFLTSIM, Captain Jack Flight Sim. And that's it for the announcements for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and get into the local astronomical news for this last week of October, and I may have a few tidbits, actually not too much in the beginning of November quite yet, so we'll hold off on that. I'm still in the process of writing that newsletter, but we'll finish up with October here. Let's see. Start off with the phases of the moon. We had a new moon back on the 21st. We've got a first quarter moon tomorrow on the 29th. So look for a nice gibbous moon on Halloween night. Should be up and give you a little bit of extra night light while they're out trick-or-treating there. The moon was at perigee, its closest approach to the Earth in October, back on the 8th. It was 223,581 miles from Earth. The moon was at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth this month, back on the 23rd. It was 252,553 miles from Earth. For November, we got a full moon coming up on the 5th, and the moon will be at perigee, its closest approach to the Earth, on the 5th as well, making that particular full moon a supermoon, which means that it's going to be about as big as you're going to see it in the evening sky, and just 15%, about maybe 10 or 15% larger than normal, about the same percentages larger in brightness as well. That's on the 5th. So look for that. It's bright enough that you might be able to read a newspaper. It may be a little tough, but you might be able to read a newspaper under that full moon. Hopefully it'll be clear for you on the 5th. So look for that full moon coming up next week. All right, planetary highlights for October. October's longer nights bring 2 transits of Titan across Saturn, while Io and Europa tango together across Jupiter 3 times. I think we missed those transits. We got Mercury and Mars make a brief evening appearance, and Venus dominates the morning sky, plus a fine Orionid meteor shower, which occurred during the dark of the moon. So that was about a week and a half ago. Excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, October 2025, page 28. We still have some stuff up there as well. So, such as Mercury. Mercury will be at its greatest eastern elongation, about 24 degrees east of the sun, tomorrow evening. So that's going to be about as high as it's going to get in the western sky right after sunset. So check that out. However, we do have Mercury setting about 6:55 p.m. by month's end. So you need to get out there pretty much as soon as it gets dark, around 6:30ish, and see if you might be able to spot Mercury. It'll be about as high as it's going to get, which isn't very high above the western horizon. Mercury moves from the constellation of Virgo into Scorpius, shining at magnitude minus 0.1 on the 31st. So it's actually shining fairly brightly to be spotted the next several days. So you might be able to you might have to pinpoint it with binoculars initially, and then you can point a telescope and see a kind of a fat crescent Mercury in the western sky just above that horizon. So you'll definitely need a clear western horizon to spot that. Again, quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the magnitudes increase, the brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see is about 6th magnitude under optimal conditions. So a magnitude 5 object is 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object, while a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer. For those of us who live in the cities, about 4th magnitude is about all we're going to see with the naked eye. Any magnitudes greater than that, we will need telescopes or binoculars just to get through all that city lights and haze and all that kind of stuff. All right, continuing on, we got Venus is rising about 6 a.m. by month's end. Look for Venus to the east about an hour before sunrise. Venus moves from the constellation of Leo into Virgo, shining at magnitude minus 3.9. And then we got Mars. Mars is setting about 6:50 p.m. by month's end. So both Mercury and Mars are very, very close together by the end of the month. So take a look. You might be able to spot them both, possibly in binocular field of view. Mars moves from the constellation of Virgo into Libra, shining at magnitude 1.5. So Mars is actually dimmer than Mercury by a factor of almost, a little more than twice. No, let's see, almost 2 magnitudes. Oh, well, magnitude and a half for sure. So we're looking at 5 times dimmer, or approximately that. But take a look. If you can see them through binoculars or a telescope, Mars is a discernible disk, while Mercury is actually a fat crescent, more like a gibbous planet, like the moon is in gibbous phase, where it's not totally lit up. So, and that's because of its proximity to the sun. We don't see Venus or Mercury in a full state as we do the full moon, when the sun or any other planets are further out from us. Okay, you'll have to stay up a little later for this. We got Jupiter rising about 10:45 p.m. by month's end. Look for Jupiter to the south in the early morning hours before dawn. Jupiter is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude minus 2.2. So you should be able to see that on a flat eastern horizon, about 11:15 p.m., 11:30. But it's still going to be kind of, it'll be in the not the twilight haze, but right along the haze. It's very thick atmosphere at those lower elevations. So wait a little while before you take a look at Jupiter, so stay up late. We got Saturn rising about 4:15 p.m. by month's end. Look for Saturn low to the east in the evening sky. Follow Saturn across the sky all night long. Saturn moves from the constellation of Pisces into Aquarius, shining at magnitude 0.7. So by the time the skies do get dark, Saturn is visible towards the southeast. And give it a little bit while longer, around 10 p.m. or so, you'll see it towards the south. So definitely Jupiter and Saturn are visible in the evening and late evening skies. We got Uranus rising in the evening as well, about 6:53 p.m. by month's end. Look for Uranus to the southeast in the late evening. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.6. And we got Neptune also rising about 4:15 p.m. by month's end. Actually, it rises about 4 minutes after Saturn by month's end. So these two are very close together. Look for Neptune low to the east in the evening, just northeast of Saturn all month. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.7. So we got Neptune about 7 magnitudes dimmer than Saturn. So you'll have to work at that one for sure. You'll definitely need a scope for that. But they are fairly close, so you may be able to catch them around 10 p.m. And that's when they're going to be about highest in the southern sky. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, dwarf planets, we have Ceres. Oh, let's see, was at opposition back on the 2nd, rising as the sun sets. Ceres is now rising about 5:30 p.m. in the evening. Ceres can be spotted low to the south near midnight when it is highest in the sky. Ceres is at its best viewing for this year, this month, or in October. Let's see, Ceres is in the constellation of Cetus, shining at magnitude 7.7. Actually, that's shining at the same magnitude as Neptune. So if you can find Neptune, you might be able to find Ceres as well. But Ceres is about an hour, hour and a quarter behind Neptune. So still stay up late to see if you can spot that one. We got Pluto. Pluto was stationary back on the 14th, meaning that it neither appeared to move forward nor backward relative to the background skies. We got Pluto setting about 11 p.m. by month's end. And the best time to spot Pluto will be actually right now in the earlier evening, when it is highest in the sky to the southwest. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.3. I've actually seen different magnitudes for that, around 14.4 to 15.3. So either way, very dim. You need very, very dark skies. And with the moon up there, your chance of spotting Pluto is pretty darn close to nil. Meteor showers. We've missed the Draconids meteor shower. That one occurred from October 6th to 10th. However, if you catch the tail end of the Orionids, the duration of this meteor shower extends from October 15th to the 29th. The maximum actually occurred on the morning of the 21st. These meteors are described as fast, so you might see some fast meteors streaking from the constellation of Orion later in the evening, but you're not going to see too many of them. It's winding down pretty quickly. We do have the southern Taurids. You might see a few of these. This meteor shower is active from September 10th to November 20th. Maximum occurs on the evening of on October 10th. However, the maximum hourly rate was near 5 meteors per hour. The meteors are described as bright and move more slowly than typical meteors, making them prime subjects for imaging and viewing. Those are still very few and far between. So if you happen to be out on a dark night, you might see a southern Taurid streak through the skies. But I just say good luck with that. Comets. We do have Comet C 2025 A6 Lemon is passing through the constellations of Canis, Venatici, and Boötes, low to the west during the last 2 weeks of the month, shining around. Actually, it's now shining about 4.5 magnitude. A 3-inch telescope or greater in dark skies will be needed to view it. Actually, a pair of binoculars will spot that one. In fact, I spotted it last Friday with binoculars and then with the telescope. It was actually a little green fuzzball with a little bit of tail, and I did have one of my other fellow observers, one of the adults with the IAAS, took a picture with his cell phone and got a pretty decent shot of it as well through the telescope. So that was a little tricky. It's right back where it was, should be in the early evening hours. And we also have Comet Swan as well. If you swing the scope about 90 degrees. What constellation? Well, I did spot that one. That was about 6.5 magnitude. So that one, just a sec. Yeah, Comet Swan, C 2025 R2 Swan is in the constellation of Aquarius, just above Capricornus. That one is shining at about magnitude 7. So you will need a telescope to spot that, but well, I did spot it with binoculars as well. About the same time in the evening, we just swung the scope over and took a look at that. So we got 2 comets. One, if you've got very dark skies, you might be able to see it with the naked eye. But it was hovering right over the Denver. Strasbourg is east of Denver, and we were looking west over the city lights of Denver. So it made it a little bit trickier to spot that with all the extraneous night light there shining up from Denver, but we were able to spot it. The skies were dark enough to spot that, as well as a few other objects in the skies. And that is it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and take more check-ins. I'll acknowledge Patrick, NT9A. Thanks for checking in tonight. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. All right, if we have anybody over on YouTube that'd like to check in, I'd certainly like you to check in over there. First name and a location. If you have a call sign, that helps too. So welcome anybody that's over there on YouTube as well. So thanks for that. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, we finished the local astronomical news. We'll get into the bulletins for this evening. Got an interesting bulletin for you in just a minute. It's going to make you scratch your head and think a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and post ISS passes, at least over the Denver area. I like this particular website, www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. And if you're looking at it over on YouTube, you'll notice all of the ISS passes are in the early morning hours before sunrise. We do have an interesting, nice high pass coming up on November 2nd over the Denver area at 5:13 a.m. The ISS travels from the northwest to the southeast, peaking about 87 degrees above the north-northeast horizon. So nearly overhead pass. And I'm going to pull up that particular pass and show you one reason I like this particular website is I can get a nice star chart of that particular pass over the Denver area. I do recommend that you guys do sign up for that and log into it, and then you can put in your home coordinates. Get much better timings and more accurate timings and passes for the locations there. For a lot more than just ISS passes, but you can check that website out, www.heavens-above.com. You can print out a nice 8.5 by 11 sheet there, and take that outside with you, as opposed to trying to figure out where it is with a an iPhone, or even an iPad won't be too bad, but an iPhone or something with your cell phone is kind of difficult to try to figure out where that ISS is. But this gives you a nice hard copy representation of that particular pass. Again, the website, www.heavens-above.com. That's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, got an interesting article from space.com for you guys to ponder over. Because of the government shutdown, JPL is not posting any news. They're kind of running a skeleton crew over there, just keeping things going. So the last thing they're working on is news, unfortunately. But I do have other sources, and this is one of them, space.com. This particular item, let's see. Is the universe infinite, or does it have a limit? If the universe is expanding, then what is it expanding into, and what is it expanding from? After a century of observation spanning the breadth of the cosmos and theoretical insights that push humanity's vision of the universe to its utmost limits, we can finally, confidently say that the universe is infinite. Or not. It's complicated. Let's start with something we can say for certain. We live in an expanding universe. But if the universe is expanding, then what is it expanding into, and what is it expanding from? Where's the edge of the universe, and where is its center? It's easy to imagine an expanding universe, and there are plenty of analogies to help guide our thinking. We can imagine drawing little galaxies on the surface of a balloon and inflating that balloon to see the galaxies getting farther apart. We can imagine baking a loaf of bread with raisins in it and seeing how, as the bread rises, the raisins get farther apart. But the balloon has both a center and an edge, and the bread has a center and a crust. So where's the center of the universe, and where is its edge? Here's the uncomfortable answer. The Big Bang has no center, and it has no edge. How can this make any sense? Let's start with the center. Where did the Big Bang start? Right here, and right over there, and in the next galaxy over. The Big Bang happened everywhere all at once. It had to happen everywhere because everywhere is, by definition, part of the universe. It was not an explosion that occurred somewhere in space. It was an explosion of space. When the expansion of the universe first got started, it was not a place, but a time. Now, what about the other side of the coin? If the universe is expanding, What is it expanding into? Where's the crust in our expanding loaf of bread? And what's the oven where we're sitting in? This is going to get weird. I don't even want to say sometimes something like the universe isn't expanding into anything, because that still conjures up the wrong mental image. It's too tempting to imagine a wall or boundary with galaxies and stuff on one side and nothingness on the other, with the universe expanding to fill that nothingness. But that's wrong. Even the vacuum of space is something. There are still points, locations, and existence. There's no outside of the universe because outside implies existence, even an empty one. But the universe is, by definition, all there is. There is nothing to physical reality except the universe. Walls separate one region from another, where the universe comprises all the regions simultaneously. If there were an edge, you could imagine working hard enough to get outside that edge. But that's not possible. There is no outside, there is no side. There is just the universe. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. So, lots of questions on that one. Make you scratch your head a little bit and think about this. You know, if there is a center of the universe, every point in it is the center of the universe from that particular point. So, think about this. You are the center of your universe. And no matter how you look at it, you're at the center. And so when you're out there looking at the stars, you can look in any direction and see just as far in any direction. Well, except down at your feet, you're only looking at about, 5 or 6 feet or however tall you are down to there. But if you could see through on the opposite side of the earth, you could also see in millions and millions of miles, and however far you can see in space there. So think about that. So every point is basically the same. You are the center of your universe. I am the center of mine, and vice versa. So enjoy wrapping your head around that. That's it for the bulletins for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Do have a rocket report for you. I'm going to let this thing reset, and then I'll give you the rocket report for tonight. All right, looks like Robert, KE0MKM, checked in and over on NetLogger. So if those of you who are out there listening and you want to check in via NetLogger, you can certainly do so, and I'll get you on the list. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the rocket report. Ed has not checked in. I haven't, let me see. He might have, yeah, he did. He did send me a text, so let me take a look at that. All right, Ed, I'll get you checked in, but I'll go ahead and give the rocket report. I know you're probably busy tonight. All right, Rocketman Ed, W6RDZ's rocket report for 10/28/25. This Rocket report covers the period from 10/21 through 11/04/2025. Last week's launches, the worldwide launch cadence remains brisk, slightly exceeding an average of just over one launch per day. 8 launches made it off the pad and into orbit last week, 5 SpaceX, 2 China, and 1 for Japan. Wednesday, October 22nd at 8:30 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX launched Starlink Group 11-5 on a Falcon 9 from SLC-4E, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. 28 version 2 minis joined the Starlink mega constellation in low Earth orbit, or LEO. Booster B1075 made its 21st flight. China Aerospace and Science Corporation, CASC, launched a Long March 5 from LC-101 Wenchang Space Launch Site, China, on Thursday, October 23rd at 08:30 Mountain Daylight Time. The TJSW-20 satellite went into geostationary transfer orbit and is said to be for test purposes. Thursday, October 23rd at 19:30 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched a Falcon 9 from SLC-40 Cape Canaveral, Florida. The Falcon 9 carried SpainSat, new generation 2, to a geostationary transfer orbit. The 6.1 metric ton satellite is Spain's most advanced new X, K, and UHF band communications satellite. Venerable booster B1076 made its 22nd and final flight. The booster launched with no landing legs nor grid fins, as it was a sacrificial launch. Okay, the booster launched with no landing legs nor grid fins, as it was a sacrificial launch and was not planned for recovery. The customer needed full booster performance for the heavy payload going to geosynchronous orbit. So, in a rare occurrence, the Falcon 9 booster was expended. Saturday, October 25th at 08:20 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 11-12 on a Falcon 9 from SLC-4E, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. It was booster B1081's 19th flight and recovery. It was SpaceX's 140th mission of 2025 and the 245th orbital launch attempt of 2025. Saturday, October 25th, at 1800 Mountain Daylight Time, Japan snuck in an H3 launch. This launch was delayed several times in the past 2 weeks due to the weather. The launch had not been rescheduled at the press time of last week's report. JAXA's H3-24L rocket flawlessly lofted Japan's new HTV-X cargo transfer vehicle on its maiden flight to the International Space Station. It was the 5th success for the new H3 rocket. The new HTV-X1 cargo vehicle will be berthed to the Harmony module on the ISS using the Canadarm. Docking is scheduled for tomorrow morning. It will remain at the station for 6 months. The new cargo module can carry 5.8 metric tons of supplies and experiments to the ISS in Leo. Let's see. Also Saturday, October 25th at 21:55 Mountain Daylight Time, China Aerospace and Science Corporation launched the Gaofen 14-2 mission on a Long March 3B/E rocket from LC-3 Xichang Satellite Center, China. Gaofen 14-02 is an optical stereo mapping Earth observation satellite. Belarus. is involved in the project. The Long March 3B/E took the satellite to a sun-synchronous orbit. Sunday, October 26th at 0900 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 10-21 from SLC-40 Cape Canaveral. Falcon 9 booster B-1077 made its 24th flight and landed on the deck of the drone ship, a shortfall of Gravitas, downrange in the Atlantic. It was the 550th successful mission of a Falcon 9 rocket. Yesterday, Monday, October 27th at 1843 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 11-21 from Vandenberg Space Force Base. Falcon 9 booster B-1082 made its 17th flight and recovery. 28 Starlink high-speed internet satellites joined Shell 11 of the mega constellation on Leo. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing upcoming launches this week. 8 launches are currently on the worldwide launch manifest for next week for SpaceX, and one each for China, Europe, India, and ULA. Tomorrow, Wednesday, October 29th at 0652 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX plans to launch Starlink Group 10-37 from SLC-40 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Thursday, October 30th at 1406 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 11-23 from SLC-4E Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Friday, October 31st, CASC is scheduled to launch 3 astronauts to the Chinese space station for a 6-month rotation. The crewed Shenzhou 21 mission will ascend on a Long March 2F/G rocket from Site 901, Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, China at 0944 Mountain Daylight Time. This will be the 16th crewed Chinese spaceflight and the 10th flight to the Chinese space station. SpaceX plans to launch the Bandwagon 4 mission on a Falcon 9 rocket departing SLC-40 Cape Canaveral, Florida at 2309 Mountain Daylight Time, Saturday, November 1st. SpaceX Bandwagon missions are small-sat rideshare missions going to Leo. Sunday, November 2nd, Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, is scheduled to launch the GSAT-7R satellite to geostationary transfer orbit on an LVM-3 rocket departing the second launch pad, Satish Dhawan Space Center, India at 0430 Mountain Daylight Time. Monday, November 3rd at 2036 Mountain Daylight Time, ULA hopes to launch the Viasat-3 F2 mission on an Atlas V in a 551 configuration from SLC-41 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida. Tuesday, November 4th at 1403 Mountain Daylight Time, Ariane Space is docketed to launch the Sentinel-1D mission on an Ariane 62 rocket from ELA-4 Guiana Space Center, French Guiana. Also Tuesday, November 4th at 1441 Mountain Time, SpaceX intends to launch Starlink Group 11-14 on a Falcon 9 from SLC-4E Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. And in space news, Shenzhou 20 landing. The Chinese Shenzhou 20 descent capsule will land in the desert near Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center, China, bringing 4 astronauts back to Earth after spending 6 months in orbit as part of the 9th mission to the Chinese space station. The landing is scheduled for Wednesday, November 5th at 0530 Mountain Daylight Time. And that's it for tonight's Rocket Report. W6RDZ Rocketman Ed wishes you a good night and nominal flight. Now back to Starman Burness, KI0AR, Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. And let's see. Chuck, we got you checked in. WB4AIZ. Thanks for checking in tonight. All right, I will go ahead and pause here to see if there are any more check-ins before we go down the list. Anyone else wishing to check in to tonight? Oh, Graham. We've got Graham over there. I should have that. Oh. Yeah, Graham, we got you on the list. No worries. MM1DEA over on YouTube. So thanks for checking in tonight, Graham. From Scotland. So good morning to you. Anyone else wish to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo America 9, Oscar Mike Yankee. Kilo America 9, Oscar Mike Yankee. In and out.
All right, Stephen, thanks for checking in tonight. KA9OMY, thanks for checking in. Anyone else wish to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. All right, now's the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports, anything you'd like to pass along to the net tonight, now's the time to do it. But I'll start it off. Last night, last Friday, I took my scope out to share with the kids out at the IAAS site in Strasbourg. And for the specific purpose of finding the comets, we had nice clear skies last Friday and actually Saturday here in town, but I went out there Friday night to find that. We found Comet Lemon towards the west, and it was nice, like I said, a green with a tail. We did spot that. I got to share that with some people that had never seen a comet through the eyepiece. And then we spun the telescope about 90 degrees, looked towards the south, just above Capricornus, and looked for Comet Swan at about 6.5 magnitude. It's actually dimmed a little bit since then, a 7th magnitude tonight, but spotted that. That looked like a fuzzball. Not much to it. That has since peaked and is moving away from the Earth. So all we saw was just the coma of that particular comet. We just saw a little fuzzy patch. That was like 2 magnitudes dimmer than Comet Lemon. There is a third comet up there, but that was at magnitude 14, and I can't push my scope to that. I have an 8-inch Celestron. So that's what we were taking a look at. We also took a look at the Ring Nebula, the Andromeda Galaxy, the double cluster in Cassiopeia, just for fun, because we had some new people out there that wanted to just take a look at a few things in the skies, and so young students got to see that. So obviously, I'd like to share those viewings with adults as well as students, and we had some adults out there as well enjoying the sights. And we did have one older adult there said he'd never seen a comet through a telescope, and we showed him 2 for that evening. So there you go. That's my observation report. So everybody else is coming up. Next on the list, let's see. First on the list tonight is Ken, NV7SS. Good evening to you, Ken from Nevada. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Bernard. NV7SS here in training department. It's nice and dark outside and nice clear skies. I'll tell you, it's beautiful. But yeah, observation's been doing last couple of weeks there. Been doing some medical stuff there. Sorry I missed you last week. Something come up and couldn't contribute anything. So anyway, Bernice, thanks for a very interesting story I tell you about the universe there. Center of the universe, yeah. Okay. Anyway, um, see you next week. NV7SS, back to the net.
All right, Ken, no worries. Yeah, got to take care of yourself first before anything. And no worries there. Glad you could check in tonight. So do appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Roy up in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Of all the things I can be imaging, it's just weird. And looks like we're about to the end of this cycle. Anyway, as far as I is concerned, but anyway, we've just had waves and waves of rain all weekend, and it's just been dark and gray and dreary. But hey, but you're coming. So anyway, back to you. Yes, big deal.
All right, Roy, I guess we need to work on that cloud filter. But we don't have any of our radio astronomers on there, so clouds usually don't mess with that. But well, sometimes the rain does, especially in the microwave level. But all right, Roy, hopefully it clears up so you can get some imaging. Do appreciate your comments, and always like to hear what you're imaging for sure. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Jack, KE0VH in Wheat Ridge. Good evening to you, Jack. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Brian, good evening. Sitting here watching some video too on the damage and everything going on that went on earlier today down in Jamaica. Pretty devastating storm. Lots of prayers for those people and others who are going to be affected in the southeastern part of Cuba. This was a bad one. Anyway, not much going on here. Work is still keeping me kind of haphazard busy. I'm not sure if I'm going to make my live stream tomorrow night. I had originally planned a flight in the hurricane weather down in the Caribbean. We still may do it. We'll see what happens here. But thanks for letting folks know in the beginning about my Flight Sim channel and all you do here on Sky Uplink and for the Astronomy Net. We're trying to promote that even to non-amateur radio operators, even when we get the opportunity. So try to get more people to listen in, maybe get their ham licenses and learn a lot from the presentations that you make here on the net. So Curtis, with that, back to you. Yeah, it looked like Echolink was working fine on the system as far as that goes. Didn't really see any anomalies or hear of anything else. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, Bernice, have a good night. Good night to everybody around the Sky Uplink and on the Astronomy Net. This is KE0VH in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. 73.
All right, Jack. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, we may want to change the the little blurb on Skyhub Link for mine and put that it is now on YouTube as well and open to anybody that has YouTube for sure. Amateur, non-amateur alike, just anybody that's interested in astronomy. So yeah, I try to do that too. So. But definitely appreciate your flight sim for sure there, Jack. It gives me something to do in the evenings as well. Actually, kind of relaxing, just to fly along, like I told you last night. Just to have some me time and fly along, listen to you, watch and see what you're doing. And I put it on the big screen last night, so I sat in my lounge chair and just watched it fly along. So nice and relaxing to do that. Maybe you can get out there in an F-14 or an F-18 or something like that. Do some yanking and banking, something like that at Mach 1, Mach 1.5. Fly along on a low level through the canyons or something like that. Love to see you do that. That would be fun, but I think you need some practice on that, that's for sure. All right, Jack, appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Moy down in Houston, N5, down in Houston, Texas, N5 ZIQ. Good evening to you, Moy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Cole in Missouri, KF0URC. Good evening to you, Cole. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list, David in Ohio. I saw your post earlier, so that you're just out there listening. So I do appreciate you checking in tonight and posting over on NetLogger there, so I can see your comments as well. So thanks for that. We got John next on the list. John W2JLS, also in Ohio, checked in via YouTube. So. John, I don't know if you're on the radio or on the air, but if you're on the air, definitely. What have you got for us tonight, John? Go ahead.
This is W2JLS. Good evening, Bernard. Yeah, I'm in the air. I'm operating from my mobile phone. Excellent. I was listening in from the gym, and you were coming in very clearly on the YouTube up there. That's how I checked in. So, yeah. So, yeah, tonight I was looking for interesting things this day in history, and I didn't really happen into anything that really tripped my trigger. So I settled for this week, and I go back to I think this hurricane kind of tripped back in 90 years ago, the last time a hurricane hit Jamaica like that was 90 years ago. And 90 years ago, this week, one of the world's greatest telescopes was taking form in Corning, New York. They were cooling the Pyrex glass in a rotating mold at the Corning Glass Works that would eventually become the 200-inch mirror for the hail. At Mount Palomar. So I know I've told you my personal story that when I was going to school in Corning, we had a call from Mount Palomar, and they offered and gave the school a 1/10 scale inch version of that scope. This mirror was also backed up at Corning. So that was a personal reflection, but I was going to mention when I dug into Hale himself, what an amazing figure. This guy, I knew about, this guy George Ellery Hale is his name. He could not just the scope at Mount Palomar, but he also 40-inch European refractor, the 60 and 100-inch reflectors in some little thing. Those are all his scopes. So quite an amazing human. Kind of a sad story, though, and he died before they finished Mount Palomar scope, so he never got to lay eyes on it. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. He's one of those people that is an historic figure I haven't really reflected on until today. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to get to share with the Colorado Astronomy Net. So that's my share tonight, Ernest. I'll send it back over to you, sir. Good to hear everybody tonight. WCJLS.
All right, John, thanks for sharing that. That brought up an old memory. I was taking an astronomy class in college. I'm not sure when. I think it was 1976, 75, 76. I mean, it was 1976. My first astronomy class out there just as an elective. And I did a report on the Palomar Observatory and exactly that. So, got an A, I do believe. And I think the professor called me in and said, hey, he wanted to use some of that for his class. I said, sure. What else was I going to say? Hey, he liked the report and was impressed and wanted to use some of the stuff that I had written. So, so that encouraged me to just press on with some more. I was majoring in something else at the time, but definitely part of my astronomy interests way back when, for sure. All right, John, appreciate you sharing that. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Rip out in West Virginia, K3XO. Good evening to you, Rip. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Thanks for doing the presentation, always interesting. So, back to you, and have a good rest of your night. This is K3XO.
Rip, I apologize. I missed some of that. Those that are on the Wires X side probably missed that too. For some reason, when you're transmitting on whatever you're transmitting on, I pick you up on the analog station. I moved over to that right now, so you may notice a little bit of difference. But I forgot. Okay, I got to remember to switch over to analog when I'm talking to Rip in West Virginia to get it. So I missed your first bit of your comment there. So I got you switched over. So if you just repeat that, I would appreciate it. And those of us who might have been over on the digital side that didn't catch that, go ahead, Rip, please.
When you switched over, you were very, very broken up in my direction now. So I don't know what the story is. I didn't really have too much to say other than thanks for the net and enjoyed it. And other than that, that was about it for tonight. So 73 and have a good evening. K3X. Thank you.
All right, Rip. I guess that was for my benefit for me to switch over. I just have to remember to do that, and then switch back when I'm transmitting for you, so I know that you're hearing. I just don't hear you. I do like to hear everybody's comments. But I do appreciate that. Yeah, I switched back obviously to digital, so hopefully I'm coming in fine now. I switched over to the analog. We got some issues over there. All right, no worries. Just as long as we're aware of it. It could be internet connection. It could be All-Star or Echo or whatever. Between here and Virginia or West Virginia there with our two connections. But do appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Robert. Let's see, Robert in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's see, I think I saw a comment from him that he wanted to check in and out as well. W7CTY. Robert, if you're still with us and you'd like to comment, please go ahead. All right, next on the list is Mike over on YouTube. K05AOK. Mike, if you're still listening over there, if you've got any comments or questions or anything you'd like to pass along for that, just let me know over in the YouTube chat and I'll pass it along to everybody else. Next on the list is Russell, K9BYU. Good evening to you, Russell. What have you over? I think you were mobile. I'm not sure. In Weston, Colorado. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead, Russell. Next on the list is Dave up in Evergreen. AF0S. Good evening to you, Dave. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
I don't know, last week, missed last week's net because I had the R1D6 series face-to-face meeting, and we put it in this because I was down last nursing lunch. Next, the comment that we are on track for 147 SpaceX launches by the end of next week, and on track for about 175 launches this year from SpaceX. That's pretty amazing. Other than that, that's all I've got for this week. AS clear.
All right, Dave. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Always appreciate your reports from when you go to the launches for sure. So yeah, keep us posted on that. Let's see. And all right, let's see. Who's next? Patrick. I think Patrick checked in and out as well. Let's see. He's out there listening in Wisconsin, NT9A. All right, Patrick, appreciate you being out there listening tonight. Next, Robert in Missouri, KE0MKM. Good evening to you, Robert. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, let's see. Graham just posted. thanks for the link. Nothing to report here. Winter weather has set in early, and in Scotland over there, lots of snow and fogs. All right, Graham. I guess you can't do too much observing through all of that stuff, and stay warm. Let's see. Ed out there working tonight. In Broomfield, W6RDZ. Ed, if you're still listening, appreciate your rocket report. Don't know if you're out there listening tonight. I didn't see you pop up over on NetLogger there. But if you're out there listening, want to say, hey, go ahead, Ed. What have you got for us tonight?
Yeah, Burgess W6RDZ here, your rocket man. I'm out here listening tonight, but yeah, I'm on Echo Link, so I won't show up there on NetLogger, but you guessed correctly. I was not available to do the rocket report. You did a marvelous job as usual. Yeah, just enjoying watching the rocket launches and enjoying all that that entails. You can watch them all there. The links are in the rocket report that you put out. That's really everything I've got. Didn't get to see any comments. I meant to, I wish I had could have seen them, but did not get there. The moon's, of course, coming up now, and that's going to be wrecking our view of the comments for a while, and by the time it runs around to another new moon, it'll probably be greatly faded, moving away. That's all I have for you for the net. W6RDZ, back to net.
All right, Ed. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in. Always appreciate you doing the rocket report. You put in a lot of work for that as well, so I appreciate you getting it to me. Well, anytime, but earlier is good. So I do appreciate that, so I can get it up and post it there. So thanks for that. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Let's see. New check-in over on YouTube. We got George N0 JBQ. That's a new call on the list for sure. So welcome, George. So thanks for checking in tonight, George. While I got you over on YouTube, I don't know if you can check it. We're skyhublink.com. You may want to check that out. And see if you can check in via Echolink or one of the All-Star Node or something like that. If not, that's fine too. But I want to officially welcome you to the Colorado Astronomy Net, so thanks for that. If you could post over on YouTube what your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for decades or somewhere in between. I'd love to touch base with you there and find out what your interest and background in astronomy for sure. I'll pass that along to the net. So, George, welcome. Thanks for that. Down in Colorado Springs. Let's see, where were we? Chuck in Florida, WB4AIZ. Good evening to you, Chuck. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
WB4AIZ. Not a whole lot. Well, I decided, well, people now orders right. Anyways, yeah, had some rain yesterday. We're gonna have some tomorrow, and I'm gonna release the launch tomorrow morning. So, hope everybody's doing okay. I'm still here in rehab. I have a my ALS tower, and those fractured a couple bones in my fibula. So right now I'm in rehab. But anyway, there's not a whole lot else going on before I actually back to that.
All right, Chuck. Yeah, stay well. Yeah, sorry to hear you had those fractures there. Definitely take care of yourself first, for sure. But I do appreciate you checking in tonight. I appreciate your comments as well. And then stay dry down in Florida there. And take care of yourself. Be careful. Climbing for sure. I think my climbing towers days are long gone. So yeah, definitely be careful. Those of you out there, definitely be careful with this stuff. And Charles or Chuck, yeah. Hopefully you will mend well, and appreciate your checking in tonight for sure. And Graham, yeah, I saw your post over there, so thanks for that. MM1 DEA. So next on the list, Stephen up in Wisconsin checked in and out as well. KA9OMY. So and then George over there on. Down in Colorado Springs, N0JBQ. Thanks for checking in over on YouTube. I don't see any posts from you, so there. No worries. But welcome to have you aboard on the Colorado Astronomy Net. Any questions or comments or anything anybody else over on YouTube, just post in the chat and I'll pass that along to everybody else. But right now we are at the bottom of the list. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll go ahead and open up the net. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. If you are a new check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins? Please call KI0AR now.
Kilo Juliet 7, Quebec, Golf, Foxtrot. Kilo Juliet 7, Quebec, Golf, Foxtrot.
Okay, let's see. Vic, we got you on the list. K7MLI, thanks for checking in tonight. And Susan, KJ7QGF, thanks for checking in tonight. I heard, I don't know whether it was somebody trying to check in or not, but we didn't get any audio. We sounded like an open mic with a little bit of noise on it. But let's see, George, built roads, always looked skyward as the best indicator to seal up. And always appreciated the constellations during evening hours. You bet, George. So I appreciate that. And hopefully you can participate in the future as well. We meet Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. I've been doing that for 30 years. And welcome aboard. So I do appreciate that. If you can check in audio-wise, check out skyhublink.com for the various ways you can hook up with us. So welcome. Let's see. Vic, Susan, hold on. I want to see if that other station that might have tried to check in, has a better connection there. All right, Ed. Yeah, I got the NetLogger app to work on my cell phone as well. So there you go. Let's see. Well, I'll look for check-ins a little bit later on. Vic, what have you got for us tonight? K7MLI. Go ahead.
Good evening, Berners and yes, Jason and NLI. Jason here as well. Just the last, not even a week, we finally got some clear skies here. Believe it or not, we had an unusual week of nothing but rain, which kind of made things a little bit messy, but now we've got some clear skies. So that's what that. The comment earlier about telescope, and I don't know if I ever told this story about the lens. There's an old buddy of mine who he was talking about the Hubble telescope. He was somehow associated with that. And he said the reason that it got set up there and was wound incorrectly is, now I don't understand the technicalities. You just understand this. I think it's all a grain of salt. Apparently there's multiple rods that are coated with some sort of paint or epoxy stationed throughout the lens during the grinding process, and they use that to measure the curvature and the amount of grinding needed. Apparently there was a little speck of paint or whatever that was missing from the end of one of the rods, and nobody noticed it. And it wasn't noticed until after everything was up in orbit that the grinding wasn't exactly as planned. Anyway, with that silly story, I'll go back to you. This is K7, Mike Lima, India.
All right, Vic, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the story was on that, but do appreciate that. Yeah, it was ground incorrectly. and it doesn't take much to put it out. But like you said, they were able to fix it with a pair of glasses, and it worked just marvelously. So we do get to see those magnificent images that Hubble took, even when it was with the anomaly. You still got some fascinating pictures, and they went and re-imaged a lot of that stuff as well. So after the correction, so got some fantastic images out of that. Still doing as well. All right, Vic, I appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. And then we got Susan down in Arizona. KJ7QGF. Good evening to you, Susan. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
KJ7QGF. Good evening to you, Susan. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, Dennis. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Quebec, South Foxtrot. And Vic and I are just enjoying a gentle breeze, slightly cool in the Arizona night light, and it is dark up there in Cape Creek, and it's beautiful. We can see stars, and it's just a wonderful evening to be out. We're out walking our horses. And we appreciate the net burning. It's just wonderful to hear all of you. We missed out on it when all the rain was happening. We, like everybody else around here, in Cape Creek, not familiar with rain and having to adapt suddenly. So it's fun to be back and listening to you. Thanks so much, Bernard. This is Kilo at 7, Quebec, South Foxtrot.
All right, Susan, appreciate the comments. Appreciate your checking in tonight, and happy to tag along with you for sure out there under the Arizona skies. My wife and I passed through Flagstaff several weeks ago on our way to San Diego when we were on vacation earlier in the month. I didn't get to see much. It was kind of cloudy then. But we did appreciate the drive through Arizona and then south through, well, Phoenix wasn't too bad. But we did get out under some of the stars and some of the skies on our way back. Yeah, went through that area. Yeah, we missed the 7th and the 14th, around the 7th. Yeah, we were going through that area, 6th and 7th. But definitely appreciate you two checking in tonight for sure, and I always appreciate you your insights from down in dark skies area, at least. Oh, let's say at least away from Phoenix for sure. So I do appreciate that. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening? Please call KI0AR now. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 21 check-ins tonight, so I do appreciate that. Hopefully we'll hear from everybody next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater systems. Also, I'd like to thank the Skyhub Link group for their radio systems and internet connections and all the ways that they can check in. All the ways you guys can check in, please check out skyhublink.com for more information on that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.